Question number 1. What is the last Charter Act to made important changes in the system of Indian legislation? The correct answer is option D, Charter Act of 1853. Next, in which of the following act a separate governor for Bengal was to be appointed? The correct answer is option C, Charter Act of 1853. Next, which act introduced the principle of open competition for the Indian civil service, allowing Indians to compete for government position? The correct answer is option C, Charter Act of 1853. Next question. By the Charter Act 1853, the East India Company reduced which number of directors on the board of directors? The correct answer is option A, 6. Next question. Which act expanded the Governor General's Council, giving more power to the Governor General? The correct answer is option B, the Charter Act of 1853. Next, what are the main points of the Charter Act of 1853? The correct answer is option A, expansion of Governor General Council. Next, which of the following statements given above are correct? The correct answer is option B, only B. Next, the Mcq Committee, officially the Committee on the Indian Civil Service, was established in dash. The correct answer is option D, 1854. Next, who is the father of civil service in India? The correct answer is option A, Charles Cornwallis. Next, who was the first ICS of India? The correct answer is option B, Satyendranath Tagore. Next, which Charter Act abolished? The correct answer is option C, Charter Act of 1830. Next, the revolt of dash as the first year of independence by the Indians against British East India Company's rule. The correct answer is option A, 1857. Next, the first statute for the governance of India under the direct rule of British government was the Government of India Act dash. The correct answer is option D, 1858. Next, in which of the following date the Government of India Act 1858 passed? The correct answer is option B, 2nd August 1858. Next, by which act transferred the governance of British India from the East India Company to the British Crown, abolishing the company's rule and establishing direct British control? The correct answer is option C, the Government of India Act 1858. Next, by which of the following act established of the Secretary of State for India? The correct answer is option A, Government of India Act 1858. Next, to advise the Secretary of State, a Council of India was established by the Government of India Act 1858, comprising dash member. The correct answer is option A, 15. Next, foundation for the British Raj and centralized power in the hands of British government by which act? The correct answer is option B, Government of India Act 1858. Next, Queen Victoria Proclamation of 1858, also known as the Magna Carta of the Indian people, is issued on dash. The correct answer is option D, November 1, 1858. Next, The Government of India Act 1858 was an act of the Parliament of the United Kingdom passed on dash. The correct answer is option C, August 2, 1858. Next question. The Indian Rebellion of dash, also known as the Sepoy Mutiny or Indian First Year of Independence, for the end of the British East India Company's rule in India. The correct answer is option B, 1857. Next. By the which act the powers of the Crown were to be exercised by the Secretary of State for India, assisted by a council of 15 members known as the Council of India. Correct answer is option A, India Council Act 1861. Next. Who introduced the India Council Act of 1861? The correct answer is option B, Lord Canning. Next. Which act allowing Indians to be nominated as non-official members of legislative councils? The correct answer is option C, Indian Council Act 1861. Next. Which act restored the legislative powers to the Bombay and Madras presidencies, which had been taken away by the Regulating Act 1773? The correct answer is option A, Indian Council Act 1861. Next. Which act recognized the portfolio system introduced by Lord Canning in 1859, where members of the Executive Council were assigned specific departments? The correct answer is option D, Indian Council Act 1861. Next. The India Council Act of dash is also known as the Morley Minto Reforms. The correct answer is option B, 1909. Next. By which act the Parliament of the United Kingdom to authorize the Crown to create high courts in the Indian colony? The correct answer is option C, the High Courts Act 1861. Next. Who was the first Indian in British Council? The correct answer is option A, Dadabhai Naroji. Next. Which act abolished Indian Council Act? The correct answer is option A, the Government of India Act 1935.